The e-commerce game is about to change forever. If you're still thinking 2024 strategies will work in 2025, then you're already behind. In this video, I'm diving deep into the insider trends that are going to disrupt your brand in 2025, and I'm going to show you how you can profit from them. I'm revealing the 17 massive shifts that will reshape how we buy and sell online. This isn't some fluffy prediction. These are real trends backed by data that could make or break your e-commerce business. Stick around because the future of online retail is coming faster than you think, and I'll show you exactly how you can stay ahead of it. With over 15 years of experience in the e-commerce industry, I've seen firsthand how fast the industry can shift and pivot over years. So with that being said, let's get into it. So let's start off with prediction number one. The e-commerce industry isn't getting any easier. We saw a peak in e-commerce overall in 2020 through 2022, and since then, every brand has gotten online. Prior to 2020, there was a massive paradigm shift that was starting to occur where we saw more and more brands get online. But as we went into the 2020 COVID era, we saw this shift where everyone got online, and with every brand online, now every brand was also running ads. They were working with influencers, they were sending email, they were building an SMS list, and things became more competitive. When you've got every brand at the party trying to sell the same people, you're going to see more challenges as there's only so many dollars that someone's buying and selling online with, right? At the end of the day, e-commerce isn't getting any easier, and we have to identify this. And once we identify that, then we can understand that we need to focus. And we need to focus fundamentally on doing the basics every day and doing the basics well, and also identifying what are new trends that are occurring. We're going to dive into what some of those trends are that we see at our agency Breadloaf and that we see with a lot of the brand partners that we have. So let's get into social shopping. Social shopping has become an integral component of every brand's marketing mix. And yes, social shopping has been around for years now, but over the last 2-3 years, we now have social shopping feeds on every big social platform. We first saw this on Facebook and Instagram, then it moved on to TikTok, Pinterest, Google, YouTube. Every social platform now has a social shopping feed. And with every platform, there are different rules that you need to play with, and there's different best practices that you need to run with. If you're not currently running social shopping on your business and through your site, you need to be onto it. In 2025, the best way to run social shopping is through Shopify. If you're not on Shopify already, I highly suggest you start looking at migrating to the platform in 2025. It has never been easier to build the feeds and connect these feeds to your individual social platforms. And why it's so important is you want to have one central hub where you're bringing in all your orders, right? The way that TikTok works with social shopping is very different than how Meta works with social shopping. And at the end of the day, you want to have one central place where all your orders are coming through that your team is fulfilling on. And like I said, social shopping is not going away. Users have now been acquired as buyers on Meta, on TikTok, on Pinterest, on YouTube, on Google. And now these platforms are doubling down on social shopping. It's now become a big piece of their business. And they don't want to just have users fall off the platform and go somewhere else to your site. They want to keep them on the platform. If they're on social media in the first place, they make the purchase on social media, they're going to stay on social media. It's better for the platform, and most of the time it's a better experience for the actual user as well. Let's say I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see something I like, I can go ahead and buy it. And if I've bought on Instagram before on Meta as a platform, my credit card information is already saved. My billing information saved. My shipping info is saved. So for me, it now becomes way easier for me to make that purchase. And now I have confidence that Meta has verified the merchants that are also buying on the platform. I can read reviews directly on Meta and get some feedback to understand what other Meta users thought of the product. Overall, it is a great experience for the customer and for the platform. They're now keeping that user on social media versus driving them away to your site. Next, we're talking about profit over growth. For years on years, we've seen growth as the top priority of brands overall. Everyone wants to see higher numbers from last quarter, from last year. And honestly, growth can destroy your business overnight. If you've been in the D2C business long enough, you understand that growth can be the number one factor to you dying. And that's because growth is expensive. Growth requires more risk. It requires more team members. It requires you to do things that can jeopardize your business. And if you don't have the infrastructure set up for growth, if you don't have the working capital, the credit lines, the team, the resources, then you are not set up for success, and growth can cause a lot of disturbing issues for you. I know some brands personally that if you saw them from the outside over the years, they're doing multiple 7 figures a month. They have every big influencer they're working with. And you wouldn't know this, but behind the scenes, they overbought on inventory. They invested too much into one big influencer that didn't work, didn't bring in the right people. I've worked with a few brands over the years where from the outside, you would see, oh my God, optics, they're running ads. They've got incredible influencers, celebrity partnerships. They're doing multiple 7 figures per month. But on the inside, these brands were struggling. They overbought on inventory. Their mouth was bigger than their stomach when it came with growth. And that ultimately jeopardized the future of their business. So when it comes to profit over growth, remember, you need to focus on profit. You need to focus on profit. And when you have profit, you can then use that profit to reinvest in the business. But if you're not profitable, then you should not be growing. You need to fix your profit issue before you can grow. Now, once you have profit in your business, you can then use that profit as working capital and also as the ability to go to the bank to get a line of credit. Once you have that working capital from your profit and you have that line of credit and you have those relationships, then you can start to grow. Too many brands want to grow way too fast before they have the infrastructure, before they have the fundamentals, basics, and the financing in place. 2025 is going to be a year where brands are going to focus on profit over growth first. Next, let's talk about community and membership. We're going to see more brands double down on community and membership in 2025 than ever before. And the reason is membership helps you retain customers. And there's been great platforms out there from Invitorate to School to Circle that are now letting brands build communities and host those communities very, very easy and dive these together. A couple of examples of great use cases on community. We have a client called Bad Company Fishing Adventures. They're a fishing brand, and they're really based off of their media YouTube channel and podcast, and that's how they've grown. We helped them launch their merch collection online back in end of 2023. And it was a huge success. They actually built their own membership community on a mobile app. I believe the platform is called StreamYard. And they were able to charge a certain fee every year to give their subscribers and their members early access to new content that they're producing on YouTube, access to their whole fishing team, and also special offers on apparel and other new product releases. Overall, community membership is super important. We don't see it going anywhere, and we're actually actively helping a couple clients build community components to their overall business. Next, let's talk about meta performance. I truly believe that meta performance will be based off of your product market fit and how compelling your creative is. The better the product, the better the performance, the better creative, the better performance. Look, at the end of the day, you can't sell crap. People are either going to want your stuff, and if they want your stuff, you have product market fit, right? You can't sell anything through an ad these days. When I started with meta advertising, you could sell whatever you wanted because no one had seen things on meta before. Anytime you were in a new product category, you could get momentum because someone never saw that offer or never saw that product in the medium of Facebook or Instagram. Now, people have been running ads for every single brand, for every single product category. There's really nothing that hasn't been untouched. And that being said, your product needs to have product market fit now. You need to have compelling USPs, a really great offer, a guarantee. You have to have a reason why someone's going to buy from you. And you also ultimately need really great creative that's going to represent who you are, what you stand for, and sell the product. Those two things by far are going to be the most important thing in 2025 when it comes to meta advertising. Next, let's talk about content syndication. Brands that have ownership over their content will be the big winners in 2025. If your brand doesn't own a content channel, then ads alone will make it very challenging to grow. You need a YouTube channel or a podcast or another form of short form content that you can truly own your traffic through. So what I'm talking about here is brands that just are a merchant, right? And that have social media and you post your products and maybe some cute content. That's not enough anymore. And a couple examples I'm going to give. One of them is one of my favorite brands right now. It's actually called BPN, Bear Performance Nutrition, out of Austin, Texas. And Nick Bear, who's the founder, started the brand in 2012 in his dorm room. When he was in college, he was an ROTC candidate going through ROTC program. When he was in school, he built this supplement brand when he was getting really into fitness. Over the years, he built this brand through syndicating his own content, through documentation in his YouTube channel and his podcast. And they've built a media company, right? They've owned the traffic. If you don't have a piece of that to your business, you're not going to win anymore. Look at Mr. Beast. How does Mr. Beast make money? Well, he sells sponsorships in his videos, but ultimately, Crustables and a couple of the other brands that he's running are going to be the big winners. Those are what is going to make Mr. Beast a billionaire and go beyond. And the way he does that is by syndicating his own content and then tying his products into the brand of his content syndication. So ultimately, I feel like as we see where things are going more in the future, as creator and celebrity and persona is a big element of the overall piece of a brand, you need to tie that in with your own content. And the brands that own their content like BPN or Mr. Beast are going to be the real winners because they don't have to rely on ads. And if ads go down for whatever reason, they're syndicating content and tying their product and services into that content. For instance, look at me. I've got this little YouTube channel, but this YouTube channel makes me millions of dollars a year. People see my videos, they stumble across them, and they end up liking what they have to hear. They reach out, they book a call, they go through our audit process. And if it's the right fit, we start working with them. It's very, very simple. We do the same thing for a service business that you can do for an e-commerce business. Next, let's talk about micro influencers. I truly believe that micro influencers will get more expensive in the future. We've seen that micro influencers can drive a massive amount of traffic for very little to no money. And I really believe that micro influencers will overall become more challenging to work with. And we're already seeing it now. It's becoming difficult. You know, everyone wants to get paid. And there's that fine line between trying to find new talent and trying to, get them for a good price that works well. I overall feel like micro influencers will get more expensive as now there's new opportunities for them to actually monetize their content, either through getting paid on a CPM basis, through launching their own products, or through becoming affiliates for other brands and getting paid on an affiliate basis for just a brand engagement. So overall, I think there's been a really solid run with micro influencers over the last 3 to 4 years where you could send them free product, they'd make some content for you, and then you could work out some couple $100 to a couple $1,000 deal to license their content for so much time. I truly believe that those days will be dying out soon. Next, let's get into TikTok Shop. TikTok Shop and the affiliates on TikTok Shop will continue to grow if TikTok does not get shut down. Now, as I'm making this video, Donald Trump will be coming into office in the next couple weeks. And one of the things that just came out in the news is Trump requested to the DOJ, who's handling the case with TikTok and the antitrust and who's trying to get TikTok essentially banned in the US. Donald Trump has come out and said, hey, I want to put a pause on the TikTok ban for the time being. We're transitioning into a new administration, and it does not make sense to be making this decision while this transition's taking place. I think there's way too much money involved personally for TikTok to get banned. But at the end of the day, TikTok executives lied to the US federal government. They said they were not doing certain things that they were doing. And that's the true crime here. And the reason why TikTok is on the chopping block to get banned in the US. They have way too much information on US-based users, and we all know that the Chinese government has a backdoor into the platform. And essentially, as long as TikTok is Chinese-owned, they're ultimately going to be able to do whatever they want there. And the US government does not want that at all. So, moral of the story, I think the Trump administration personally will work something out with TikTok. It'll either get sold or they'll work something out, but I truly do not think it's going to get banned in the US, at least for the time being. Now, when it comes to TikTok Shop and the creator affiliate network, we've seen massive success with TikTok Shop over the last year. The creator platform that they've launched, I think, is unreal. There's still a lot of bugs overall on the platform, and still the paid platform, TikTok ads we see just don't work like they do on Meta and other platforms. But I think that we're still in an early phase with TikTok Shop and the creator affiliates. And I personally believe that there's a lot of room to grow here. Next, let's talk about programmatic. I truly believe programmatic is going to become a bigger piece of the overall D2C paid pie. Programmatic is finally figuring out the D2C attribution model, with AppLovin leading the way. And we're going to see more and more programmatic platforms that are going to be able to dial in their attribution model and actually be able to track a CPA back to a sale. We've seen a lot of changes happen with all the new privacy laws, with iOS 14, 15 updates, transitioning what's happening on Meta. Google keeps on delaying the cookie deprecation, which should have happened a couple of years ago. I don't think that they're going to get rid of the cookie on Google at all. I think all these platforms are finally realizing we need advertising dollars on the internet. That is the lifeblood of the business. And if we let that go, we're going to see bigger challenges in the future. Next, let's talk about direct mail. Direct mail is going to see a lot of growth from just being specifically used for certain peaks throughout the year to a 12-month marketing program, with platforms like Postpilot building out automation and having a structure where it's really easy to launch campaigns and build specific cohorts around audiences and certain triggers that's connected directly with Klaviyo and other ESPs. We see direct mail as becoming a bigger piece, where brands are going to be launching campaigns monthly, and they're also going to be running consistent automation overall. Let's get into hard goods and consumables. I believe that hard good brands will start to shift into consumables, and I'm going to give you an example of this. One of my favorite brands is Patagonia, traditionally a hard good brand, right? They make jackets, they make outdoor apparel, they make a lot of different clothes, right? For every aspect of your life, whether you're an outdoor adventurer or you're just looking to get yourself kitted out for some winter weather to having a wetsuit. Patagonia made a transition about, I want to say 7-8 years ago, to launching Patagonia Provisions. Patagonia Provisions is essentially a food consumable aspect where they make certain types of foods, that everything from canned sardines to jerky, all these different more sustainable type of foods. And I truly believe that we're going to see more brands get into consumables that have been the hard goods space. Main reason being, if you have a passionate audience, there's only so many jackets you can sell to them, only so many shirts, right? I got this shirt for Christmas. It's an aloe shirt. I love it. I love aloe, but how many shirts do I need? How many jackets do you need? And when you're trying to build a brand and really trying to have that relationship with the customer, I truly believe that we're going to see more hard good brands get into the consumable space. That's anything from candles and incense to supplements to vitamins to food, whatever it is. I feel like we're going to see a transition of more hard good brands get into more consumables to consistently keep that relationship with the customer over time. Next, email and SMS are going nowhere. Overall, we still see email and SMS as some of the strongest channels for all of our clients, driving anywhere from 35 to 65% of their monthly revenue. Look, I know email's been around forever. Everyone's doing SMS, but still, it's the basics and it's fundamentally going nowhere. Everyone's still using email. Everyone's still using SMS. And we're going to see these channels consistently be a big piece of the pie for the overall business. And by the way, if you want me and my team to audit your email and SMS ecosystem, we usually do this audit. It's a brand retention audit. We do it. It costs us $4,000. For you guys watching this long video, I want to do it for you guys for free. You can find a link in the bio to book a call with me or one of my team members personally, we'll have a 15-minute kickoff call, then we'll go into the audit process. And I want to offer that to you guys for free. So take advantage of it. If you're a D2C brand doing $1 million to $50 million a year and you specifically use Klaviyo, or I know you're interested in migrating into Klaviyo, please, we're one of the best Klaviyo brands in the world, and I know you're going to get a lot of value out of it. So shameless plug there, but go book a call, and I'd love to audit your brand. Next, let's get into where we see the talent being pulled for brands. So I'm seeing a massive shift right now from in-house teams to agency. Over the years, we always hear agencies are dying this, freelancers are dying that. It's all going. Honestly, if you're doing under 50 million a year with your brand, we're seeing a massive shift where brands cannot afford to have full in-house teams. And we're going to see as more brands focus on running a conservative P&L, they're going to focus on shifting away from having a massive team to focusing on agency, because agency can essentially be more efficient with those resources and work with a standardized fee plus performance bonus structure versus having a massive team internally that can be holding the business down. So like I say, 2025, 2026 and beyond, I see agency becoming a bigger piece of the marketing mix when it comes to the talent pool. Let's get into talking about AI. What we're seeing is that AI is going to be used for solving direct problems and for content creation around the whole e-commerce ecosystem. AI is going to allow beginners to get their feet wet, but the real winners are going to be the professionals and the pros. An example of this is if you can't write copy in the first place. If you're a beginner, if you start your own brand from scratch and you've never written copy before, you go to AI and you won't even know how to give it the right prompt. And even if AI does write something for you, you're not going to know if it's even any good. AI is going to help the professionals work faster. Like a copywriter, they're going to help video editors edit faster. They're going to help designers design faster. It's going to help developers code more efficiently and help media buyers make better decisions. At the end of the day, if you don't know the fundamentals, AI is not going to really be able to help you unless you're just getting started and you're trying to throw something up for the first time. Next, brand's going to make a big comeback. I truly believe there's been way too much of a focus on direct response over the last few years, and every dollar trying to track back to an individual email campaign or an ad campaign. And at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to grow your brand if you don't invest in a brand. There's two sides of marketing: direct response marketing, where we run ads, we run offers, we send email, SMS, push, direct mail campaign, and then we have brand marketing. Brand marketing is a lot different. This is where you're going to be doing collaborations, partnerships, licensing deals. You're going to be running event activations and sponsorships, content syndication across your own media channels like YouTube, podcasts, print magazines. This aspect has been forgotten about as everyone's been cringing around every last dollar to every last output, and ROAS has been the biggest top of mind. I truly believe we're going to see a paradigm shift. More companies are going to be investing into brand, and brand is ultimately going to help these companies become more valuable over time. And lastly, we're talking about the CMO, CFO relationship. These are the two most important roles in your whole organization, whether you have them in full-time or you have a fractional basis. And you're going to see the CMO and CFO working way closer. You heard me talk at the beginning, turning profit over growth. This is why we need to run conservative P&Ls. And at the end of the day, the CMO and the CFO should be talking multiple times a week, and they should have the same North Star. They shouldn't be operating on two different wavelengths or playing fields. They need to be operating together and making sure they're driving the shift in the same direction and making sure they're hitting the same objectives as the company. And that's it. That's really my predictions for 2025 and where we see the e-commerce industry going. And if you're serious about scaling your e-commerce business in 2025, then let's schedule a call and let's get you that free brand retention audit. Like I said, we only have room to do a couple of these free ones every month, but because you're taking the time to learn and watch these videos, I want to give something to you as well. And don't miss my next video where we dive into the top email marketing trends for 2025. Love you guys. See you on the other side. Hope you enjoyed this. And if you liked it, please like and subscribe to this video. Like I said, we put a lot of time into these and it's for you to learn for free. So please, if you like it, also leave a comment. We read all these and we'll get back to you. So Love you guys. See ya. Peace.